So what's up, guys? I hope you all seen that what I posted last week about building a nation, and we've got a lot of feedback. And I was just sitting down talking to Samantha about like all the different comments and likes, things of that nature. We got a lot of different mixed reactions about finding a sister wife. You know what I'm saying? So it's something else. But it's been good. So I really want to. Sam's about to come sit down with me in a second, and we were just talking about all the different reactions that we've gotten from people. But while we're getting started, before Sam shows up, if you can, please share this and spread the word out, because it's really going to mean a lot to us. And hopefully at some point, we get a chance to talk to you guys and interact with you. But but we're really excited. We got a lot of different views. So it's really just see what you guys think. But anyway, she be coming in a second. Matter of fact, here she comes. She's coming now. So anyway, hey honey, how you doing?
Hey.
So what you been up to this week?
Same thing I love to every week.
Yeah. So don't worry about it. So like, tell me about what people have been saying this week, considering that the fact that we were looking into getting a sister wife. Like, what have you got any DMs? 'Cause I got some crazy DMs, man.
I've got different responses. Some people are like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? And other people are like, you're crazy, or you're stupid.
You think you're crazy?
Or
Really?
Or well, how does it work? Okay, I get it.
Okay.
So it's just been just a whole bunch of different.
Yeah. A whole bunch of different people. Like, a lot of guys were like, man, you crazy.
I got a lot of guy friend requests.
You got a lot of guy friend requests? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, I can believe that a lot of guys probably want to know who you are. But, for me, a lot of guys think I'm nuts too. They're like, how could you even handle all the headache, They really think that I'm off the wall because I would even push something like that, to even ask you something like that,
Right.
And I mean, I don't know. I mean, considering today, I just don't. I don't really see.
Someone said, is that another one in there?
Yeah, maybe.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It actually is. So.
Man, I know you could tell already.
Well, don't tell her that. But I mean, having so many people with these different opinions, but I don't see why I think guys are kind of in denial in what they really want too.
I think it has a lot to do with the Western Hemisphere, because we're really the only country outside of like Europe, but that promotes one man, one woman anyway.
Yeah, monogamy. So you're right.
But being brought up in the Western Hemisphere, of course, this is new to me. So regardless of how it happens, it's still going to hurt.
Yeah.
But I do see the pros in it.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that really, I think people are just not really going over and saying anything. They're not, they're really ignoring the differences in different types of relationships.
And that's what I think, because a lot of these women who had something to say to me about the situation, either one are not married, or they are going.
They're not what?
They're not married.
So a lot of them that disagree are not married.
But they're still, he ain't acting right, so I'm move on to the next. Or he ain't acting right.
That's what I don't understand.
I'm moving on to the next.
Like, you just gonna keep moving on to the next one.
And that's where I find my acceptance mostly in the situation. I already have one child and another one on the way. But I don't want. What am I gonna do? Leave you to go to somebody else who's probably going to do the same exact thing, and it's probably going to be in deceit when he does it. So
True.
why not just stay with my
True.
partner and work
Yeah.
it out with him
Yeah.
and continue to build?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I've been bringing to a lot of people is about the building aspect of it. It's like, you know, I know it's not really about, it's not about you lacking anything as a person or as a wife, or, you know, just because, you know us going into business, having companies together, raising kids together, you know, going out and getting dinner and getting ready to cook and stuff like that. It's not that we're not eating. It's not like we're lacking anything. It's just really, when you think about it, it's like it's an opportunity to add to us. You know, I don't know. You know, it's really bigger than, you know. I don't want you working so hard and then having to cook and then worry
Because I do
about.
wear a lot of hats,
Yeah.
and I am tired.
Yeah, I know. You know, you're cooking, and then we're answering phone calls, we're closing deals, we're helping people blowing up our lines and calling us, and, you know, with all those different aspects of things going on all the time, it's just, you know, can we come home and, you know, we got some dinner already laid down, you know what I'm saying? Or can we wake up and it already be something to eat, you know? Sometimes
And
we
it
need help.
would, right, I mean, and especially with another one on the way, and all the hats that I do wear, I mean, I make sure I cook, I make sure I clean, and not only do I help him run Financial ID, I have my own business. So it's a lot. And another extra helping hands would help. But a lot of the issues, I think, is a lot of women aren't realistic. I don't think that they're and to each his own, ladies.
Okay.
Don't beat me up.
Yeah, don't beat her up.
But I just think a lot of women are not realistic.
Yeah, when
Half
you
of the
say
problems that
okay.
you guys have with men, like, let's be honest, and ladies, I want to hear your input. So if you can type in your responses, that'd be great. You guys have the issues that you guys have with men are that he's talking to somebody else, or you found messages, or he's been talking to somebody else. What was that?
That's it. I'm on my way to be y'all stud wife. I love y'all. Thank you.
So basically, if you can put an end to that by building with him and being like, hey, like, don't do it in deceit, let's do this together, would that help your relationship? Or would you guys, you know, keep moving on and hoping that you do find that one monogamous man?
I mean, I think it's a lot of denial. I mean, most of the times when I always kind of throw out this, you know, little joke about men ain't shit anyway. Excuse me. You know why? Because why do most relationships break up? At some point, one or the other so-called steps away. But I mean, it really puts a strain in the situation where everyone's really, you know, I don't know. I think it's just more like clinginess or this ownership. So to say, you know. But anyway.
Well, that's what they brought us up to, basically. In this hemisphere, they brought us up to do that, because if you look in Africa, or if you even look way back in the biblical days, they were already doing this. They already had multiple wives.
You so crazy, Dominique.
So I just know that I'm gonna continue building with him. I know I'm not going anywhere, so I'm not gonna sit
True.
here and continue to nag. You can only nag so much, and I know I'm not going anywhere, so why not work with him
That's true.
to continue to build? Because go ahead.
I mean, one of the things for me, I feel like what people are missing is that, I mean, first of all, 2 is better than 1. Then having extra help within your organization, that that gets stronger, you know. So when you add these twines to the rope, it's like, you know, why limit ourselves and try to do so much on our own? I mean, as a man, I don't ever claim to try to do it all by myself, because men have to have a helper. We're commanded to. So but I noticed that some of the men in the Bible, in the scriptures, they had the opportunity to go really wax mighty. And they had really really big families. They had a lot of children. And these are the things that I think where we currently live is just not really supported for us to really grow and have big families. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
And then I saw a comment up there that was like attachment, and it is an attachment, and jealousy. All that plays a part because regardless of what, I am attached to him and I am jealous. But I'm not going to sit here and belittle my sister because of something a man did. A lot of us like, oh, well, now I'm going to beat her butt, or now I'm going to, I hate her. Mm-hmm. But she didn't do anything. It's most likely him who, probably pounced on it like, oh, hey, lady, how are you, etc.
Yeah, like how many of the other girls even know that the first one exists, considering that he might have just ran up on her and like, hey, what's up? And she might not even know you exist. Period.
Right.
Just on the average, just the way guys are taught to, raised to grow up to act, And when we're younger, the guy with all the girls were cool. That's still going on today. It hadn't stopped. So when people ask the question like, why? Actually, I mean,
And how many times do you, and these are just stories I hear from, my girlfriends all the time. How many times do you find out that there is somebody else and you still don't leave?
That's true.
So why are you going to continue to hate her just to stay and start beef with her instead of saying, okay, well, hey, sis, I do need some help over here. Why don't you come and help me with, some of the children, or let's sew together, or let's do something together.
Yeah, that's true.
Instead of just continuing to hate her, because clearly he's not going to leave her alone either.
That may be the case, yeah. And then, but then I notice people, when it comes to this daycare thing, right? Mm-hmm. So many people, they claim that they're doing it, for your single mothers, you're really not too single, because if you're counting on daycare, you're counting on school to be able to keep your children for a couple of hours a day, you're lying to yourself. You're not actually doing it all by yourself. Or you dropping them off over your auntie house, or your sister house, or your mama house. Somebody is out there helping you, and it's not really about trying to do everything alone, like the individualisticness of it, instead of thinking of the whole sum, instead of just mm-hmm. Well, did you hear that, I just can't do that, that's not for me, it's mm-hmm. You hear that a lot,
right? I do.
Those who push back, but
and those who say I ask them, just why not? And I feel like their responses just aren't realistic, because men just naturally are just lustful creatures anyway. So if you can't beat them, join them. And at the end of the day, there's not much that we can do to stop a man from doing what he's gonna do. And I'm not gonna leave my husband to probably go find somebody who's most likely corny, who is going to be, monogamous or whatever, when I already have his children. However, I've already started building. So even if you're not going to accept it, or not for me, be serious. Is he talking to somebody else? Have you seen those messages? It's just, I'm just being realistic. And
yeah, I think a lot of people are missing the realism of it. But it comes with its difficulties. Don't get it twisted.
It does.
It does. It does
it's
come
not
with
all peaches.
But this is something we realistically were looking to. If she was.
And Kelsey, why is it sad? I would like to know your opinion.
Your opinion, yes, please, Kelsey. You're open forum. Thank you, May. Shalom, sis.
And I'm not sleeping with the sister wife if that's crossed anybody's mind. Yeah. It's all about building, and I'm going to support my husband.
So let me guess, a sad situation is actually teaming up together and working together to raise a family to support each other, to really, build and grow as a family unit. Like, I don't really see how continuing to drop our kids off at daycare is really going to benefit us.
Right.
I mean, our kids are
Why are
homeschooled.
women expected to be with one man, but a man can have multiple women? I can't speak for multiple women. I know me personally. I have children. Why would I want to sleep with another man? That's just me. And to each his own. Kelsey, I do appreciate your comment. I personally don't want another husband. I don't want another man. So that's why I choose not to. And he wouldn't agree anyway. And back in the biblical days, that's not what women were doing anyway.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been a traditional stance on that part.
But the men and the kings, and they did have multiple wives.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For example,
Why isn't the other wife in
this
city?
this is actually talking about us picking another wife, and it's a conversation that we're having. Why do a lot of women think it's about the financial status rather than building? I've heard them term sisters that these men don't have six-figure jobs, so they can't afford another wife. My answer to that is this. In some other countries, there's a lot of first of all, these houses are not what we're used to here in the States. So when a guy had to have 3-4 houses, these houses are like just kind of little constructs. And you got some guys with some real compounds and palaces per se. But that's always a major excuse. They don't see progression or future growth in the male. So that's a major excuse to try. What I found is that what you call de facto polygyny. Like the people who rule nations and kingdoms and stuff like that, like you weren't really arguing with Solomon or Nebuchadnezzar or any of those kings that own those realms. So and it's still like that today with your athletes. Those guys pretty much have their pick when they whenever they want to, So I watched it from the beginning.
And because you do want somebody of status with like let's say those athletes like he just mentioned, how many of you think you have them to yourself?
I mean, I don't think they really believe that.
They have to know they don't have them to themselves. Didn't the multiple wives symbolize that the man was wealthy and met very similar families?
Yeah, that's absolutely
And
true.
then-
It does. It is a thing of status, because a man with no wife is actually like, what's wrong with you?
I mean, the wealth is in your children and your family, how big
true.
your family is. But as far as our family goes, we have avenues to. So let's say if the new wife does come in and she's working a 9-to-5, we can simply put that to an end, because you're not just going to come and just sit back and like there's nothing to be done. There's things to do, but that's going to make us even more wealthy. If we had another helping hand that we didn't have to actually pay wages to, but we were actually growing
Together,
that'd be more money that's staying in-house.
I mean, even having the skills that we have now, we was able to birth children at home, and save thousands of dollars on childbirth. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you're gonna pay if me and you can afford to drop Sarah off at daycare. That's an extra $600 to $800 every month that we're gonna have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wouldn't cost $600 to $800 more a month to feed another sister wife. I don't think it would. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just being realistic.
Because so many of us are without husbands because a good man is already taken. Exactly.
Already taken, just on the.
And then think about the how high the gay rate is.
Yeah, the
with
gay
our men.
rate. I like that
so
term. Yeah.
Even how many good men are there left out there for our sisters anyway?
True. That's true.
So
but yeah,
I can read some of the responses I
yeah,
get.
give me some of those responses that you got. But I just noticed that on top of the gay rate, in a lot of places, you missing. There's a lot of men missing out of the society. So I know it's a lot of sisters And yeah, I appreciate that because the Most High does talk about us being fruitful and multiplying. That's actually one of our commandments as the children of Israel. So we're commanded to grow and prosper.
So one of the things that I was told is, it was like, more power to you. I just rather not even know. So there are the ones who want to be like that. What's the name of that bird that sticks their head in the ground?
Oh, ostriches.
Yeah, ostriches. They want to be like ostriches. I'm not that type. I want to know. And if you even decide that this is something you're considering, I need to know when the conversation starts. So because I need to be, because at the end of the day, it's tough, it's hard, and it hurts. So I need to be able to wrap my mind around it. So I need to know as soon as you're interested in somebody and she's biting back, I need to know who is this girl, and I need to meet her.
That's true. I mean, versus the latter is basically, we walk around and we see beautiful women all the time, and we kind of like, hey, look, she fly. You know what I'm saying? So, what I feel like is most guys end up in a situation where they're basically afraid of their wife's reaction. Naturally, they're afraid of that reaction. But what happens is he looks anyway, and then when he's looking in secret, and then what turns out to be a secret at that moment, it turns into secrets later. So instead of continue to hide behind, stick our heads in the ground and keep it realistic, there's a lot more, I would say, a lot more attractive, smart, intelligent women out there than meets the eye. Like, really, like, guys had to walk around like this to not see them, you know what I mean? Like, let's be realistic. But so on the side of understanding, like, when they talk about let's go you want to get her some fruit or something, or you go get her some fruit, and I'm gonna talk to them for a second. Okay, do you need my card?
Please.
Yeah, but anywho, here you go, babe. But yeah, like, man, it's so crazy, it's nuts, how so many different reactions we get from different people when we sit back and look at everything. I mean, it really makes more sense than I think it's other cultures live together and build their finances, and it is a big economic impact in the actual physical labor and the help that you can have. So I don't really see how you can argue against it. So many for all the benefits you can get out of it, you know what I mean? There's that one downside, is that there's another guy. There's another woman for the female. That's about the only downside. She actually gains somebody else to help her, Hey, I say if he's being honest, guys, and he's man enough to be honest, and he's working towards, he has goals, I would think any guy that is looking into polygyny, he does need to be goal oriented and thinking in a future sense, in an investment side of things. But now we got to write something to eat. I want to go back over some of those examples of what you were reading. What else did you have? Now, one of my homies was telling me that he just rather have he would just rather be able to not really deal with them whenever females, when he doesn't really feel like it. And I think it's unfair that guys continue to go out and use women, and they continue to, they want their time, they want their bodies, but they don't want to keep or cover them or make sure they're okay. So versus actually sitting together and building together, it doesn't make sense, But guys, look. There she go. All right. So what are some of those more examples that we have right there? Okay. And y'all can keep coming with the comments.
I
already
love said I'd rather not know. Okay. You're shortchanging yourself.
So some people have said that Samantha would be shortchanging herself. Would you think that you are shortchanging? You can be honest, okay? Do you think you're shortchanging yourself if you were to actually bring a sister into our life that was, matter of fact, what type of sister would it have to be for you not to feel like you're shortchanging yourself?
So, do I feel like I'm shortchanging myself to answer your first question? The reason my past relationships didn't work was because there was always another woman. No other reason than there was always another woman. So that's why they haven't worked in the past. I'm just to the point where I'm not going to keep hopping around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, stick by him. So for me to feel like I'm not shortchanging myself, I feel like she has to be for the team. She has to be a team player. So you're going to basically help out, and you're going to want to build a bond with me. It's not just about him, because we've had that happen before. I felt like she just didn't want to build with me, and it was all about him. So that's not going to work. And if we can actually build the sisterhood, then hard to find someone being an atheist and trying to find more. It is hard, but it can't be that hard because I was only in the scriptures for a little less than a year when I met him. And then when he introduced me to everything and, brought it to my attention, etc., I was able to change things about myself that I was doing before. So it could be hard, but I feel like there's somebody else like me out there.
Yeah, I can believe that. I just know that, like, I find it hard for the guys to sit here and be denied to themselves that what it is that they want. And I think probably the hardest thing for us, scriptures, please, I love it. Well, do you have your scriptures on this one yet? No? I don't think you do. Isaiah 4:1 is a good one that you might want to read. Do you have one on here? Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. I'm going to read this one for you guys. And y'all tell me what y'all think about this time period. Today, just looking back in the Old Testament in Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1, and it reads, And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name and take away our reproach. So, so there you go. Even in scripture, it prophesied that, in the future, the women would be like, independent. And I mean, we really see some sisters around here, like, they got their own crib, they got their own money, they got their own bread, but the common denominator is the reproach, I would say, of not having a husband. I would say there's a lot of them that end up finding themselves kind of lonely.
Most women still want to be loved and want to be kept, and for everything, for all the standards and however society makes us feel that we need to choose a man that has 6 figures, a man that does this, and then it's going to be with only me. How just realistic is that? There's so many women out here just throwing themselves at men, so it's easy for men to have just access to so many women, because a lot of these women are just making it easier.
Yeah. But as far as what everybody else is doing, somebody said Eve. Yeah, Eve didn't have a wife, but Adam. Like, this is my question: is like, I did see that David, as soon as he did get married, King David in the Bible, he actually had 2 wives. Like, from the start, he didn't have one from the start. He had 2 from the start. And I want to say David ended up having several of them.
Exactly what Lachey said. We have to be independent these days, and I'm a single mom, and it's hard. And I was a single mom before I met him, and now I have another child by him. I'm not just going to, he wants a second wife, let me just move on and be a single mom again. No.
Do you think that's a trap that a lot of our women are kind of getting played up into?
Because of the way society makes you feel like you have to. This is not socially accepted, but gay marriage is. So it's just like,
great point.
what's right or what's wrong? Like, what are we going by for all the ones that are saying that, oh, nah, I could do that all by myself, but you don't want to be by yourself.
But you don't want to be by yourself, yeah. Like,
I know I don't, and I'm already with him.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, I mean, if we want to go over there into that new text, I'm not going to get off on you. Matthew 5 and 25 and 1. Matter of fact, you know, we see that a lot of people want to think that the Messiah was against polygyny, but he described the kingdom of heaven as a man with the option of 10 virgins. 5 was smart, 5 wasn't. But, you know, and then 5 had oil in their vessels and 5 didn't have oil in their vessels. So y'all check that out. I see that if we did do one man, one woman, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it'd be like 15 women without a man.
Right.
So what about them? Do you not care about them? Do they even exist? I mean, especially if everybody's talking about community building, you know,
right?
And building as a nation. I don't see how you can leave out the other sisters. Like, I got mine, and forget y'all.
Right, I got mine, go find your own, but there's not enough for her to go find her own. And I'm not going to sit here and lie. I've already said it does hurt, but am I just going to not want it because of my own selfish reasons?
Yeah, I mean, and then some say that the man is being selfish for even asking for that, but can realistically, was America built with monogamy? That's a good question I would like to think about, because during slavery, Massa he had a bunch of women running around the house breastfeeding babies and sewing and cooking. Go ahead.
So Rondi said if other women were the reason previous relationships didn't work, why add one to this one? So the reason I'm saying that is because there always was another woman. So if there's always going to continue to be, so if I leave him and I go to another guy, and then he's messing with another woman, I'm going to leave him again and go mess with somebody else. And now he's messing with another woman. So I'm not going to keep moving on for another guy to keep messing with other women. I'm going to stay with him and support him and help him build with this other woman, if that's what I have to do.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's other brothers and sisters that have families, and even the sisters speak about it being a sacrifice and not being something that's easy per se. But what's the social disorder in the lying to ourselves and forcing the monogamy? You know, actually forcing it upon us as a culture, like, hey, you better not do that or you're wrong. You know. So confused. However, I want to see this one. Sorry, guys. I want to read this one. Financial places and have careers where they could support their family enough, and everyone wants different things. Yes, the reason why people are choosing this lifestyle are valid and only two need to agree with. But childcare as a reason. Childcare is actually a benefit, not just the reason. So we're not talking about having like, hey, you're just a wife and you go sit down and just watch kids. But, well, you know, sometimes you need a break. Sometimes you got a phone call. Sometimes you got a meeting. Sometimes the other wife might have a meeting and the kids can stay over with the other group. It helps as far as it takes. I think you've heard the term. It takes a village to raise a child. So, you know, that's your aunt, your mom, aunties, and cousin. But, like, to be realistic, I can't expect my mom to come up here and be at the house with me all day. I can't expect my dad to drop what he's doing. You know, your sisters and your aunties, as much as the single women like to think, oh yeah, I'm gonna get my sister. Ask your sisters 3 times this week to watch your kids for you. Ask your cousin, ask your auntie, and see if they're gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Yes, absolutely. I want a lot of kids. I have a lot of them already. I'm sorry I can't really read all the comments here too fast. You know, back and forth. But
like, women are getting more and more forgiving. To each his own. I'm not gonna go find another husband so he can possibly do the same thing, and I already have his children.
I mean, did one of the girls say something about she didn't need a man, like she'd be alright, she didn't have to have one. There's my mama. Say, hey, mama. I see my mama on there. Hey, mama. See, mom, what do you think about it? Here go mama. Look, y'all ready? This is get real. Listen, mom, what do you think?
There is no logical reason to disagree with polygyny, only personal preferences. But why? And I agree.
That's true. Yeah, and with everyone, I mean, it's just natural I would say for the men to actually see the other women. Waits for mom response. Yeah, mom just jumped on Rodney.
Why did you?
Hey, ma. I tell Cameron I call her in a little bit. But yeah, so why didn't the Most High give Adam more than one wife? I mean, I would think that goes back to the current situation where we have, well, first of all, with Adam, Eve went out and listened to a snake. So I think if Adam had been like, not ate the fruit, I think the Most High probably would have gave him another wife. Considering Adam was listening to Eve,
Thanks,
he kind of went on together.
Why does anybody care if they're okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, and if we were on here talking about, I had a boyfriend or something like that, everybody would be all right. You wouldn't. How many of you all would quote the scriptures if I was saying I was gay? I'm waiting. You know what I'm saying?
So,
let's keep it real with ourselves.
Because socially it says, oh, it's acceptable, so let's leave that topic alone because socially it's acceptable.
Yeah, so, I keep bringing that up because as a counter, if gay people have a right and so-called pedophiles have a right to live their lifestyle per se, what's so crazy about a guy having a few wives? Like, I don't get it. Oh, wow. So, and as we expected, that it would be a lot of outcry from the women that think that this is absolutely nuts and out of their mind. So,
Your mom.
My mom says she wants 2 husbands. Mama, quit playing, mama. See, so my mom even has a sense of humor. There you go.
To the female, do your friends do the same? Actually, some of my friends, a lot of them initially had pushback, but I actually have one of my friends who came to me recently and she was like, you know what, Sam, I get it because I've been with so-and-so for so long and I love him and he's going to be my husband and the other girl's just going to have to deal with me. So some of my friends had pushback. Some of them are like, you know what, I get it because I've been dealing with so-and-so for so long and he's still been with that same girl, or you subliminally share.
So, yeah.
Mama Banks Live.
I would have to see you post a scripture say man should only have one wife in the Torah, in the Old Testament, and then I shut the whole show down. Gotcha. Waiting, all right. So would it be legally married to all the women or just one? So because I study law, that goes back to the type of man or husband. Because I study law, we actually use a coverture. It's a private compact and marriage agreement between me and my wife that's outside the jurisdiction of the state. Therefore, the state can't stop me from actually marrying more wives. Now, no, I can't go to the state of Georgia and ask for the state of Georgia's consent to say that we're married. And I don't remember Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, any of those guys using any court system to validate their marriage. It does not matter because we are one of the children of Israel. And to each his own. Gerald, let me ask you a question. Do you have a wife, Gerald? Why we're waiting on that? But anyway, so yeah, we get that. I mean, we get it. It doesn't seem right to you all. But then again, I have to ask you, what about the other agendas? But anywho.
But I mean, for him to say, okay, the Bible was tampered with, but everything is tampered with, if that's the case.
Okay, Jared. Well, since you don't have a wife, let me know when you get one. All right, and then we'll start working on trying to. I guess you build up your house and start working on your house.
And for any of the sisters who don't want to post their comments on here, just you can always feel free to DM me and say what you want to say.
Is there any?
I'm open to all of it.
Yeah. Is there anything? How do you love all the wives equal? I want to go back to that comment. First of all, this is one I think is a society tries to bring. There's no such thing as equality in society. And from my retrospect, the children of Israel were set to be above all other people on the face of the earth. So knowing that, there's going to have to be some kind of pecking order to life. You know, it just is what it is. I mean, people, we talk about all the time. You got God, Christ, husband, wife, kids. Your kids are not going to talk to you as if they're an adult. So, you know, obviously it's going to have to be a great deal of respect from the child to the parents. So, and even it's got to be a great deal of respect for that new wife to the wife who's already been around. You know what I mean? So we have respect for one another, and there's a way to build. I would say for me personally as a man, I mean, I really like how beautiful women are. I really like hearing women talk and speak to each other and chatter and talk about the things they like or dislike. You know, they have their what about vice versa? I do not practice polyandry, and if you want to look up polyandry, take a look at polyandry in India, and they marry paternal brothers. So they marry all right, but anyway, guys, it's getting a little chilly, so we'll see you guys maybe next week. We're still thinking about going on a date. We're looking for her. She's fly, she exists, but we'll find her. Hopefully, you guys will help by sharing this. Help us find our new sister wife and share. Gerald, appreciate you. I hope you find a wife, because if you had at least one wife, I probably could respect your comments. Until then, you're probably a little suspect to me. But thank you guys. I'll see you guys later.